Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be diving into a topic that's been making a lot of headlines recently, and that is AI. Specifically, we'll be discussing recent controversies involving Meta and Adobe, and we'll also be talking about Cara a bit further into the video. But before we start talking about that, I'm just going to very briefly discuss what you're seeing on the screen right now, and that is my Chainsaw Man fanart. If you're wondering what Chainsaw Man has to do with AI and what's going on right now and what this video is about, guess what? It has nothing to do with it. I am a struggling artist and this is my way of making money. So don't worry, we will be talking about AI and we will be talking about Meta. But first, let's talk about human artists. And the reason that you're seeing a speed paint right now is because I drew this. AI didn't. It was me. So this is kind of to highlight that real artists are still here, we're still working, and we are not going anywhere, despite all of the controversies that I am about to talk about. While there's a lot of supporters and non-supporters of AI, it is important to recognize that real artists still need to be around. It can feel very hopeless as an artist right now, seeing all of these AI bros and communities like Meta and businesses, like Meta and Adobe using AI in their platforms, and it's important to know that we need to let them know that that is not okay, and it is not just artists that need to do this, it is everybody. So I sincerely hope by watching this video that you learn a little bit about AI and why artists are up in arms about it. So without further ado, I think I've rambled enough. Let's get right into the topic. Let's start with Meta, formerly known as Facebook. We've all heard about their privacy concerns and misinformation issues surrounding their AI algorithms. It's raised important questions about data security and the ethical use of AI technology. But what exactly is Meta doing with our data, and how does it affect us as artists and content creators? If you aren't aware of what's going on right now with Meta, it is now going to be using any pictures you upload. I don't think it's just pictures, I think it's any content that you upload on your account, whether you're an artist, whether you're just sharing for your friends, whether you're a business. They're going to be using those images and reels and videos to train their AI algorithms, and you are automatically allowing this to happen, and the only way to change it is to find it in the privacy policy and request not to be used as an AI training profile. And unfortunately, as far as I can tell, people in America, I don't think, can actually opt out of it, which is insane. Not only are they being very hidden with this and not openly telling its users, it was up to people like creatives to make videos saying, by the way guys, you're going to be used for AI unless you actively go to your profile and choose not to be. And this is so wrong for so many reasons. What if somebody hasn't been on Instagram in 2 years and their profile is now going to be skimmed for AI? And unless they've deleted their account, there's nothing they can do about it because they probably don't even know what's going to happen. This also brings up a topic of maybe people who have passed on and they have these memorial accounts for them, and they're going to be used for AI now, and they can't opt out of it. Like, it's just, for so many reasons, it is incredibly unethical. And then there's Adobe. They've had their own share of controversies relating to AI and artificial intelligence, particularly in the realm of creating content. Because of their generative fill tool, you can easily make deepfakes, automate your whole design process essentially. You can create things out of nothing. And this has been incredibly controversial in the scene. So, how does something like that impact our creative process? Let's talk about that a little bit more, because I think there's a lot of potential risks and benefits in that particular industry. I personally don't have a lot of experience with Adobe products. My experience was when I was in college. I had to learn how to use Photoshop very briefly, and the tool that they had at the time was Content Aware, and if you use Adobe, you know exactly what that is. Essentially, you could pick an object and it would automatically get rid of it, basically. If there was people in your picture, you could content aware them out of it based on what was around that person, if that makes sense. And now they have generative fill. So what is generative fill? I personally saw this in action when one of my friends, who is a graphic designer, I would watch him work, and it's insane what generative fill can do and how good it can look. Now, my experience watching it was he was making designs of miniatures, and he would use it to, say the section had no people in it and he wanted a little person in it. All he had to do was circle it, type in, make a little gnome man, and it would just be there, and it would generate 3 different options that you could choose from. Now, it's not always perfect. Sometimes it can't generate something that you ask it to. So that is one of the cons of it, that it's not always going to produce something that you want. Or if you don't tell it exactly what you want, it won't be able to do it. And sometimes if you're too specific, it won't be able to do it. So what are the pros of it? Well, obviously, not everyone is a photographer. We couldn't just set up miniatures and photograph them. So he was able to get these images of miniatures even though there was no physical thing there. It was all AI generated, even the miniature image he was using. So the issue with that is that he is not telling people. No, let me start again. If he is not telling people that he used AI to generate that whole image, people are going to think that he made that miniature. And that hinders people who actually do it. Miniature it could take hours, days, weeks, months to create miniatures and photograph them and get everything set up. So it can seem quite demeaning to see someone just generate it out of nothing, and it almost takes away from that craftsmanship. But on the brighter side of things, it also highlights it, that even though it is as easy as using a sentence to say generate a miniature image, this person is still spending hours, months, years, weeks creating a miniature set. And it's people like that that are going to be harmed by this, because people will no longer be reaching out and saying, I have a product, I want miniatures to represent it, can you do that for me? And oh, it's going to cost £2,000, 2,000. Oh, but why wouldn't I just buy Midjourney for €13 and do that? And that is where the issue arises, because these small people, these small artists, these small creatives are losing out on jobs like that. Now, maybe once this is more developed in a couple of years' time, we will see people like that charging a lot more, because what they do is such a specialty. We'll use myself as an example. As an artist, I can make a completely custom commission, but someone could, if they just didn't want something perfect, they could just put it into an AI generator and get a picture, but it's going to be soulless, and some people want that and some people don't. And I think that's, in the next few years, we're going to see a shift in, quote, real artists being able to charge a lot more for their work, because they are a specialty, even more than they were before. So I rambled quite a bit there. Oops. So now let's move on to talking about Cara. So Cara is a social media platform specifically for artists. The owner of it, or the CEO, sorry, they actively combat copyright and AI. And Cara itself doesn't even allow AI on the platform. So they're incredibly transparent about the algorithm. They are incredibly community driven. It's leading the way in ethical AI use. So the challenges with this is that Cara is specifically for artists. What this means is that only artists are going to use it. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's good if you want to attract other artists, but other artists aren't necessarily going to want to buy your art. So if you're an artist trying to make a living, you're not going to be able to attract customers using Cara. You're not going to be able to attract buyers. You're going to attract other artists. So that's why Cara isn't necessarily the saving grace of the community right now, because you obviously as an artist want to attract your buyers, and those buyers are on Reddit, they're on Discord, they're on Instagram. So where do we go from here? What happens now? I think that's a difficult question. I think if you're trying to attract buyers, you unfortunately will have to keep using Instagram and Meta and or Reddit and Discord. What this means for me personally is that I'm probably no longer going to post my art directly to Instagram. So as a digital artist, I'm not going to upload it. I'm probably just going to take a picture of my iPad or upload it as a reel where you record yourself drawing, but I'm not actually going to upload the PNG file on Instagram anymore. I don't know if that's a solution or not, but it's what I'm going to be doing personally. Will I keep using Cara? Probably, but I am going to use it as a portfolio since I am not going to be posting my PNGs on Instagram anymore. So it's really up to the community how we decide to go forward with this. I think many people need to go into Instagram and opt out of the AI being used on their account, and I will put up a step-by-step here on how to do that. And yeah, I think this is really the best way forward. Before we wrap up, I want to give a quick shout out to my Etsy shop where you can find D&D resources and portrait commissions. It's another way for me to connect with you all and share my love of art and gaming. Plus, supporting independent small artists like myself helps keep the community alive and thriving. So if you're in the market for unique and handcrafted art, be sure to check out my shop and show your support for the channel. That is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed our discussion, and if you have any thoughts or experiences to share, don't forget to leave a comment below. If you want to support me, you can follow me on my social medias, which will be linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.